paralyzed the guy, severely hurt him. So you want to train these techniques very carefully and slowly so as not to injure your partner. And it would be a good idea if he has some debilitating disc problem in his neck or back, that he find somebody else to do it on. Make sure your doctor, or chiropractor, physician, or whatever has given you approval on this. But don't practice these if you're already crippled and stuff, or have injuries, because it'll make you worse. But this is, I'm going to show you 20 different neck cranks today, and I'm going to tell you that these are deadly. I mean, we're talking about the capacity to kill somebody with a submission hold. And these all come from the long history of catch wrestling. How long? Thousands of years, maybe 100 years, maybe a little more than 100 years. But anyway, you're going to love this stuff. But again, practice with extreme caution, and some of these should never be used unless you're in a life-threatening situation. This seminar will be filmed. This tape will be filmed in front of a live audience, just like All in the Family, Archie Bunker, and those people, instead of a dead audience. So I'll show a technique demonstrated several times, and then I'll tell the people to go out and do it. And if they really horse it up or screw it up, I'll bring them back in, show them what they did incorrectly, and point it out to you so you get those tips, and then carry on that way. All right, so the first one today, let's bring out Jeff. All right. Now, this is a neck crank you can do standing to the guy. Face me. All right. You can do it to him when he's in an upright position. But basically what you want to do, you've got to get his head turned this way. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab him here behind his head. All right. Now I'm going to shove his face in. I can knock him with my fist like this, but I move his face so now my shoulder is blocking his head from turning back. See, try to turn your head back. See, you can't. Now from there, I lock my hands. All right? And now when I lock him, I'm using a 3-finger grip like this way. And then I'm going to pull in like this. I use this grip because it is less circumference to go around than this. So it's tighter. All right, so I grab him with the head and collar tie up, I knock his head to the side, I trap with my shoulder, and I lock my hands. Now from here, all I've got to do is pull into him, right there. See? He tapped. Maybe you couldn't see the tap. Okay? So here, boom, and there, right there. Now imagine if I was here like that, really fast, what could be done to the guy? You get the idea? Could cripple him for life. That's not what you're going to do here. We're just learning to hold. Here, knock him over, here, and push your body weight into him as you hold him right there. Okay? So let's work on that one. Hit it. All right, now the second neck crank is my favorite, probably. And you can get this if the guy shoots a double leg on you. Okay? Let's say he steps in to attack my leg. See? I stop him by sprawling back slightly. Now I'm coming across his neck here. With my blade of my forearm. It's coming across, not his neck, I'm sorry, his jaw right here. This is his hole. And you want to get the top of his head, the crown, right here in your solar plexus. Right there, you want to trap it. Get this arm there, and you have his ear facing the ceiling and the other ear facing the mat. From there you grab his tricep, and you grab your own forearm. Okay? Now try to pull your head up. See? I've got him pretty tight here. And then from there I just slowly lift right there with my right arm. This one. Okay? I don't take my arm off of my other arm and go like this. I just kind of lift them in unison. Alright, so here, his head is trapped in the solar plexus. You got here, grab, and then slowly lift. See, I only have, if this is done correctly, there's like, how much pressure did I give? How much? You see, the fulcrum is right. And because the fulcrum is right, it takes very little to do it. So, but the key is, the trap is crowned here. You got it. There's other ways you'll see people doing it. And, you know, one time I taught to put it over here, and you see other people say, oh, turn your hip in and crank. None of that is necessary. You're using brute strength and force to do it. Whereas here we're using maximum leverage because the fulcrum is perfect. Right? All right, let's hit that.
Go.
One of the mistakes I'm seeing here is people not having control of the arm or having their legs in improper position. For example, you're getting here, but one leg is away forward, like this. That's not right. Okay? It's not the correct way to do it. You want to be square to the guy with your feet. Here, there, boom. Not here. You see? Now the angle's totally off because his head isn't even in my solar plexus. It's like in my liver or my ribs. Okay? You want it right here. That's where it's got to be trapped. All right? Now, the other thing is that some of you guys are not getting his head turned. You got it like this far. And then, no, you want it turned completely like this before you get it. See, here, feet are square, here, here. All right, let's go again. Okay, this third neck crank is done again. The guy shoots a double leg, and this time he gets in a little deeper. All right, so let's have you start here, Jason. He shoots in on me, and he gets in a little deeper. Now, in amateur wrestling, you'll learn like this cross face, where this blade of my arm is going across his jaw and nose. See, this way. As I sprawl back, but here I'm not sprawling back. I'm coming here, and then I'm putting my left elbow in the middle of his spine, and then I'm locking my hands here again with a 3-finger grip. Now what I'm going to do here is turn. See, he went to his back. Now I move this leg forward, so I'm tight to him. I move my body forward, so I'm tight to him. His head is turned sideways, and then all I need to do is lean my chest into him. Okay? Now notice that I'm not being an asshole. All right? I know this is a commercial tape, and I shouldn't use that kind of vulgarity. And trust me, I never do in my real life. But
Only at milestones.
And I never tell a fib. Yeah, that one. This is my first. Okay. But anyway, the key to remember is that any real submission teacher should not be making the people he's doing the moves on scream in pain and slapping the mat over and over, and leave, and 2 weeks later they're still sore from you putting the holds on them. The guy doing that is a jerk, okay? And he's trying to impress himself more than anybody else. These should be done in a real contest, okay, but when you're learning holds and you're practicing with each other, yeah, you put it on enough to make the guy tap, but you don't put it on full force immediately, 100%, and then back off. When you're practicing it with somebody, you put it on gradually so you give the guy a chance to tap without thinking his life is in danger. That's very important to say, all right? So Jason shoots in on me. See, I'm going to practice the hold gradually. Here, this arm, again in the spine. I'm turning it. As he turns, I keep tight to him. My hand is here, got his head turned. Turn this way a little bit. Got his head turned like this, and now I slowly put it on. Boom. That's enough to make him tap. I'm not trying to wrench him and hurt him and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's work this one.
Go.
All right, one of the details of this that I want to emphasize, just sit on it, but let's say I already cranked him. The key is that your arm does not need to be sunk all the way. In fact, the sink it, the less impact or effect you'll have. So a couple of you guys were like this, okay? And then your lock, I'm going to be here. So this part is right there. See, if I'm like this, see, now you're like, see, and you're using all your arm here. But if I'm like this, here, see, like there. All right? So don't sink it very good. I mean, the same thing applies to, I'm on the feet, this figure 4 one. Okay, my arm is like this, See? It's not all the way like this, because now he's getting my fleshy part. And he can move, yeah, he can give him the bone. All right, so one thing Carl Goss said that the guys in Wigan that he learned from, when they'd see a big muscles guy come in and train, ooh, yeah, wow, look at that guy, he's got some big muscles. But today, it's going to be all bone. Okay? Now you have an idea what they meant. All right. All right, so this neck crank here, I haven't shown you to crank the guy off of a sprawl. I mean, sometimes you get caught and somebody shoots in on you like this and you didn't have a chance to sprawl. Or you can't. So you have different options based on where you are on the mat. Yeah, but let's say he shoots all the way in and I sprawl on him. Okay, boom, okay, and I sprawl and I get my weight back. So now what I want to do is grab his chin. When I grab his chin, I want to get my fingers to drive right into here. Then, not all the way up here to like the jaw, the mandible, like right there, in the middle of the, right before the molars, there's a little spot you can catch there. So I get that spot with my hand. Now, from here, I'm going to tunnel under his head, this way. All right? I'm controlling him, because I got control of his head. Now, I come on top of him, I go chest to chest, and I sit my left leg through while keeping weight on his chest, and then I'm going to pull his head this way slightly. Okay? All right, so let's do it again. He shoots in, I sprawl. I get a hold of the chin, come under the head. I come chest to chest, I sit through. Any questions on that one? All right. All right, so one of the details here that people miss is when I roll him through and I get on him, okay, you want to be solid like this with your weight. I see a lot of you going like this almost. See, there's no weight on his chest, right? And you're like trying to pull it all the way. Yeah, you allow him to get out. You want to be solidly on his chest. Now when I sit the leg through, I'm still on his chest, right? And then I pull. Right there. So it's just a slight pull with the fingers if your weight is solidly on his chest, right? Okay, let's clean that up. Let's go. All right, so now here I am, and he's on his knees. Same type of technique, slight variation. All right, now what I'm going to do is I got what we call in amateur wrestling front headlock, freestyle or wrestling. All right, this arm is not that deep. It's about here, and then I'm going to lock my hands here at the elbow and pull him this way. So from here I can pull him flat, like this, and just hold him here, or I can go around like that. What we want to do is not to this extreme. We want to ease off in the beginning and go to the extreme at the other end. Okay, let's move this way just slightly. All right, so I'm here, and I get this front headlock now. I'm going to lock it like this again, 3-finger grip. Here, I want the grip to go just slightly above his elbow. So I'm pulling him in, okay? So I'm pulling him in, and then I go. Now, I let go of the lock. Grab his chin. All right? So you can keep the lock, and so again, I'm showing you to let go halfway through. stopped his takedown attempt. You've locked him. You roll through. Now from here, you're going to continue to come. You let go of the lock. You get the chin. Chest weight on it. Like that. Any questions? Hit it. All right, now show you the guy has a head outside single or like a high crotch. And he shoots in. So he's got one leg. His head's on the outside, right? Okay, let's go get it. Now, a lot of times he'll shoot in very explosively and he'll end up with your leg and he's not on his feet. Okay, so shoot in. Boom, hands up, yeah, come on, yeah. All right, now, you end up in this position and you bounce around. What you want to do is you want to snake this arm around his throat, like this. And then you come under this, keep holding my, and the guy desperately wants to take you down, right? So he's holding on to your leg, and you've got him here. Now, what you want to do now is you step up with this leg, fall to your ass and pull him over the top. So here, nice, like this. Now from here, I got my left arm under his arm, and I just pressure that way with my triceps. I just pressure back like this, and it's a done deal. All right. So again, he shoots. Boom. Catch him here. I get under him. Fall back. Top here, and then lean in. Okay. You could also be here and sit out. And say, all right, I'll take this view right there. Either way, you got it. Depends on where you need to put the pressure. But again, one of the things you've got to understand is that you must be able to use all parts of your body to get a submission hold or finishing hold. And you don't do it with just grabbing with your hands. All right, you got to know how to use your shoulder and your back of your tricep and your, what else am I doing? My chest into the guy. All kinds of different holds. This part. It's not just grabbing something and, making a tendon or ligament snap. It's knowing how to use your whole body and knowing how to be sensitive to it. Oh, if I just push back here. You'll see in a little bit that I'll use my ribs to go into the guy's neck crank. All right, so this is a good one. Ready? Go. All right, now this is a different neck crank, but there's some similarities, okay? Beginning with the fact that he has a head outside single, right? And instead of surrounding the neck, I'm going to get here and grab his chin. Again, I'm pulling it up in there. Then I'm going to turn my waist in, like this. People want to look at it. I'm going to get my leg to the outside. Now I've got to throw. So that's the first part you got to know. Up here is how you finish it. You got it. I got the chin. I turn. Keep the hold. And then I sit through. So, do this one slowly, all right? Let's hold on. I'll show you again. Do this thing. Here. Hold the chin. Turn the hip. Don't try to turn the leg. Turn the hip first. Then the leg comes in. Boom. All right? Now, you don't land like this. I'm taking the stages so you can see it. Okay, now I'll do it all in one shot. Here. Boom. This is one that, if you get a guy, and he gets these last two actually, even if he was able to fight out of this, he's exhausted when he has. It's very, very tiring. Take it from me. I know, when I thought I was in really great shape, this was back when I was in college at Edinburgh University, there was a guy, Rick Renfus, from Erie, Pennsylvania. He was really good collegiate wrestler, I think, in Kentucky. But he never, when it came tournament time and all that, he always choked. But he was always right there at the top. And he came into practice once, without any training in, I don't know, 5 years. And I was a national champ. And I'd shoot in, he would just give you his leg. He was a great defensive wrestler. He'd come around my head there. Boom! I mean, he must have thrown me in that like 7 or 8 times in a row. Now, again, getting back to the saying I've been telling you is that you can't beat what you don't know. I had no clue what this guy was doing. I'd never had it happen in my entire life. I was a national champ. He had this great move. So he throws me in that. And of course, you're not doing submissions in it. He's just holding you there to pin you. And I'm fighting off my back, fighting. And then finally, it's like, I couldn't get off. And I'm pinned. Okay. So we get back into the feet. He did this. He did it like 7 or 8 times in a row, too, right? But after 2 or 3, this guy who thought he was in fantastic shape was like, I don't know what's wrong. I'm tired. Well, he did me a favor because after 7 or 8 times, I figured out how to counter that hold, and he didn't get it on me anymore. But then he entered a tournament after like 2 weeks of training, and he beat everybody, like pinned everybody with this. It's a thing where I wasn't the only guy that had done. So this is not a trick hold or anything. This throw has been, I mean, it's been in wrestling a long time. But to finish him off, that's what you want. Not just pin it, you want to crank the neck and make it tap. All right, now this neck crank is done as a counter to a fireman's carry. It can also be done as a counter to a high crotch. Okay? He shoots in a high head outside single, but you're still on the ground. Okay, here, and you get this arm here, like this. But let's say it's fireman's carry. He's holding my arm, right? So I'm going to lock here, I'm going to lie, I'm going to fall to my side of my left leg, this way. Okay, now, here's where I'm going to get him with my oblique and ribs on the right side of my body. Turn, and right in there. So, again, it's showing how to get a submission, finishing hold without grabbing the guy. I can grab his head and ram it forward. I use this part of my body, and I here, and I roll this way. All right, so let's go again. In this angle, he shoots the fireman. I fall. I turn. I realize his head's trapped. I turn, and then I continue to turn. Yeah. One more. Here. Again, do it very slowly. All right. One of the most important parts of catch wrestling is the Nelson series. Typically used to pin people, but you can use them for submission as well. So I'm going to start off with the quarter Nelson, and we're going to do this from a head inside single. The guy has a single leg on me, head on the inside, from a mid-level position, and then I'll show it on the ground as well. All right, so Jason has a single leg on me, head inside. All right, and what I'm going to do, quarter Nelson, you get this arm through the overhook side, or wizard. I get that through. Yeah. This arm goes on his head, the elbow goes on his head. I grab his chin. All right, now I get my hand on my forearm. Now I'm going to shove my elbow down like this way. And that's torque to the crank in the neck. Now typically, here, you'll see a quarter Nelson done this way. I got to shut it down like this, and then go to a pin hold. But we don't care about pinning so much today. All right, here, whizzer, get this forearm on his back of his head, grab the chin, grab your own arm, and drive the elbow down as you pull your leg back. Right there. All right? Go. All right, now the same hold from the ground. He shoots it head inside single and he goes low. It's here, right? Okay, and I'm down on the ground here. Now, push his head, I come through. Here's the regular quarter Nelson, right? But this arm here. Grab the chin. Elbow pressuring on the back of the head. Then grab here. Alright. And then again, push down with the elbow. And now you've got the mat to use as a brace. Right? So he can't turn his head through. Here. Here. There. So that says quarter Nelson. Chin grab. Neck crank. From the head inside the single on the knees. Alright. Alright, now 3/4 Nelson. Okay. Now, from this position in amateur wrestling, you'll see, first of all, I'm going to hook his left leg, but I'm going to hook the right one first so you can see how I'm doing it. Alright, so here, I'm sitting on this. Alright. Well, I'll just do it on this side. What the heck? Then I'll switch. But in amateur wrestling, you'll see people doing the 3/4 Nelson. The guy drops his head. And my shoulder comes underneath him. And I grab his head like this. Here. And I pull him through. That's modified. Because Carl Gotch taught me how they used to do the 3/4 Nelson. And really, it's pretty much of a strain on the neck. But instead of bringing the whole arm and shoulder through like this and coming here, they would come here and here. See? That way. All right, but see, I'm pulling it this way to crank his neck, whereas they would do it this way to then roll him over and pin it. Okay. Now, some people are not real flexible, and just that alone, if you put them in, they would tap. Okay, so, but it's not really a submission at that point. Okay, here. Let me go on this side. All right, so I'm sitting on this heel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach through, and I'm going to grab, and I'm going to pull. So I want to get like this part of my forearm here, and I'm pulling his ear over here. Here. Right there. That way. Okay? Or you can here, pull him down to tunnel him under and pin him or whatever, but this is far better than this, because the only way you can get this is if the guy is tired and drops his head. See? He's there. Then you got, but still you're not submitting him, you just, unless again he's inflexible in his neck. So here or here. Now, what happened is that this became banned, just so you know the history of some of the amateur tap stuff, is that it became illegal in the collegiate wrestling or high school wrestling because the guy would turn his head this way and turn it into a choke. So they'd say he's choking. Okay. So here I'm coming like this. I'll turn your head. Yeah, that makes sense. See? Okay. And Carl's like going to the guys, it's not a choke. It's only a choke because the guy turns his head to make it a choke. So then you'll stop the match and say potentially dangerous or illegal hold or whatever. Right? So, but if the guy is stupid enough to turn his head, realize you've got a carotid choke right there. All right. And there are stupid people out there. I'm not one of them. All right. Let's hit it. All right. So a detail on this that some of you are missing. See, if I'm here, I'm just boom. See, you go. But you got to understand, breaking this down, this arm, the bony part, has got to be here. And then lock your hands. I'm locking it in a hook grip, like two hooks, like this. All right, because it's the most convenient grip over here, and then here. And now I've got this, and I'm pulling it this way. All right. So again, you don't like go here and then go, where does this one go? No, everything has got to be simultaneous. Bam. See, here. You see? Yeah. All right. Go. All right. Okay. So let's go on the mat and show it. Now, if I get in this position, I want to jam this knee under his chest, so I'm tight to it. All right. Now I'm going to push his head down, and I'm going to get the further half in there. See, I got a further half in this. And I'm going to come and lock my hands here, or put them back to back. But if I can lock them, I want to lock them to one side, rather than both in the middle, if you can. All right, here and here. Now you drop it. All right. Now this is a hold that is still legal in freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling. It's still legal. You can do full Nelson, but it's not in collegiate style wrestling. Why do you think? Too many people got hurt. Dan Hodge used to, with the 3/4, which I showed earlier. Dan Hodge, who's got a grip, he was never taken down in his collegiate career. He won 3 national titles, never taken down, and he has like double tendons in his fingers. I've written about him in my news magazine, and he can take an apple just like that, take a brand new pair of pliers, and snap it and break it with his grip. Well, he put the 3/4 Nelson on people, and observers, reporters, etc. said you could literally hear the vertebrae snapping when he put it on because he had that much pressure. Imagine if he had the full Nelson, right? You'd be crippled for life. All right, so here this knee goes under. Push his head down with your left hand and get a further half Nelson in there. All right, and I'll show you what to do with that in a little bit. Then snake this one through and make a hook grip. All right, once you have the hook grip, you're going to drive his head at this angle. You could just take him straight over. I mean, you'll hear, and then he's on his back and you're pinning him, and he'll probably cry and go home. But here we want him to say uncle. Okay? What do you guys say in Canada? Maybe you don't say uncle here. You say Baba or something. Here, just okay? All right. Full Nelson from the knees. All right, here's a further half Nelson. Next stop. Again, get this knee in here, under the guy. Push his head down, shoot the further half. All right, now see this free arm? Take it and pull it back. All right, now I'm going to go from pinning him to submitting him. I'm going to do both at the same time. Now, I'm going to take, I'm going to just take him at 12 o'clock, right straight over his head, which is, believe me, it's scary as hell. You're on the receiving end. Yeah. Here's 12 o'clock, here's 1, 2, 3, just so you get an idea. All right.
12 camera?
Yeah, or do you just pay attention? Listen, don't talk. All right, I'm going to really get him this time. Okay, here, now I'm going to just go forward. All right, now I've got him in a pinhold, right? But I'm going to use my body to move back into him. So I neck stock him there. Yeah, all right, so he's stocked. Let's turn him this way. Say here. Now from here, I can pull this on. Yeah. Okay. And you just drive into him, so he's just getting his whole spine and neck crank all out of whack there. Right? Now there's other ways to take. Give you a couple bonus things. Move back here. All right, here. This way. See, I can get him this way. Tie up his arm this way, or I can have it with my leg. I can just fall. Just, it's not a surfboard or a reverse surfboard, show hold or something. But you can see that he doesn't have much in terms of stability. Boom, I can go this way. Yeah. All right. So I can take him at 12 o'clock or I can take him at 3 o'clock. You all right?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Okay, you like that? Huh? You don't? Nelson series, by the way, is named after Nelson. Just so you know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They didn't name it Furey. I don't have any holds named after me. None.
Not yet.
I'm thinking of one though. Maybe like biting or something. Yeah. But that wouldn't do. All right, enough talking. All right, let's go. All right, so now, just so you know, catch wrestling is not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. All right. So if you really want to learn and know what it is, you got to learn some of these holds that you might think, well, I'd never be on this or whatever. Okay, fine. But the fact is, in a street fight or something like that, people do go to their knees. And, or if you just want to learn things from other people, it's part of the legacy. So, catch wrestling is not a thing where you just learn holds on the ground. It starts on the feet, then it goes to the ground. All right, so from this position, he's on his hands and knees. You take him down or whatever. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I got this leg here like this. All right, this hand is going here. Again, the spine. This hand is coming across his face. All right, three-finger grip. So this bony part is going across, maybe palm is down, so there's the three-finger grip. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin him in a circle. All right, so here, like this, that's it. And it didn't take much because he wants to spin to avoid getting his neck cracked, right? But it's not over for him. All right, so here, he spins to avoid it. Now, through the whole way through, I want to keep it tight to him, and I want to make sure this knee is here. Here's my grip. All right, so let's go on and continuous onslaught. See him a little too low, you might have to come up. You might have to adjust it a little bit, okay? You all right? One more. This time. Here. Pull back a little bit. Lift his knee up. Make sure his face is turned this way. And remember, you may have to adjust because the chest has got to push here. So if he's sitting up higher or he's taller, maybe you have to come up a little bit again. Maybe you have to come up here again. If he's way low, like that, so then it's a piece of egg, right? All right, let's do this one. All right, so basically, if you have a brain and you've been paying attention so far, you'll see that the last move I showed is just a different position, a different variation from what I showed early on, where Jason shot a double leg, went here, and took him, and ended up in the same neck crank. Only difference was this time he's starting with the knees, right? Okay, so now he's on his stomach. You catch him here. All right, now how do you get him? Again, you want this here. In the spine. You don't want it over here, and you want it there. This hand comes here. Now, if he's already on his spine, on his stomach, and you got him turned here, all you need to do to finish is lift his head this way. All right? That's it. You don't spin him anymore. You don't turn him. All right? And because your elbow is in his spine here, how much pressure do you think you really need? Not much, right? So here. Okay. All right. And I'm on my knees. Okay. Okay. the head turned this way, keep the elbow in the spine, and then lift up that way. So you're just bringing him up. All right, got it? All right, so now we'll do it when he's on his back, and I'm going to mount him on him. All right. So here, you can get the honeymoon ride, get your legs like this, interlocking both of his legs. Not necessary, but I think you'll be more stable. Okay, this arm then comes around the head. All right, and then you kind of grab your own bicep here. Okay, now, you can put this hand here if you want or whatever. You get this shoulder going into him. Your whole chest going into his chin this way. Right there. So, how's that feel? A little more than a walk in the park, right? Here. Now, let's say he's like this, and he's defending whatever. See, knock his face to the side. See, now you've got your entry. You grab your own bicep, and you drive. Push your chest and everything into his chin. Right there, that way. And for those of you who are sick people, really sick and mean, those of you who have extra growth here, this is what Jean LaBelle calls Larry with an eye. Here. Just relax there, pal. Okay, here. And just keep your in his eyes. All right, got it? Hit. All right, now from the crossbody position. Let's move this right. Here you are. All right. Use your elbows. That's what God gave them to you for this kind of thing. See right there? Got this elbow in the sternum. That alone causes pain. Plus, I got this nice bony one here. See? So now that sets up this thing. Okay? So, was that at all painful? Just slightly. Okay. Well, let's see if we can add something. No. There's nothing to add. It's already worked, right? So here. Hand comes under. Grab. He's already tapping with his other hand, but you guys can't see that. Okay. Now, when you do this, you're turning there, lifting this elbow up. Here. Right, that way. So, key elements are, get the bony part of your elbow. Is there anything other than the bony part to your elbow? Well, this part. Is this called the elbow? Nah, crook of the elbow. Okay. This is the bony part. That goes right here in the sternum. See? This part goes right here in his jaw. See? So now you combine it. And there's your setup. I do think that some people will accuse you of unsportsmanlike conduct if you do this. But tell them, you're not a sportsman, you're a fighter. All right, hit it. One point I want to make here, just in terms of catch wrestling concept, the use of the elbows and the bony parts of the hand and whatever is what the old timers refer to as ripping. So you have people called hooker, he's like the submission master, okay? And you got a ripper who was like just a mean bastard, all right? And just grinding with his elbows and everything, all that. So, of course, you can be a ripper and a hooker at the same time, right? You think? Okay, now turn over on your knees. Hands and knees. Okay. Most people, if they get a person's back, think, hit him in the back of the head and sink the choke. Or whatever. But I'm going to put a leg in here, and I'm going to thread it all the way back. See it, see it, see it. Right? I threaded it all the way back. And my other foot, turn. It's going here. See? Yeah, watch the knee, he says. Okay, now, instead of going for a choke, I've got full Nelson. So I'm going to roll it this way. Alright. So this is a rolling full Nelson. Alright, let's go back here for start off. So, put the leg in. Thread it all the way back. Boom. Okay. Kick this leg out on the stabilizer. And I start by pushing the head down with my left hand. As I'm pushing it down, my right hand comes in. Now, I roll my own back. I come here. Instead of taking it straight forward, take it forward and here, like two directions. See? Yeah, like that. Hands are not interlocked. Like this. They're like this. Palm to back there. See? This too. All kinds of good things in store for the man who is respectful and honest. All right, now I'm going to give you a bonus underneath. And what might that be? Do you have any ideas? Well, now notice how my weight is on top of it. Underneath. You're not that heavy, you're just falling down. Right? I'm not off to the side like this. My weight's on me. And I start pushing his head down to power tap, and he breaks flat. Flatten out. Yeah, flatten out. That's not flat. Yeah, there. All right. Now, from there, I got his hand. Start pulling it back. Boom. Now, grab his wrist. Turn this way. Here, roll it. Go. It's just demonstration, all right? Turn your head the other way. Pull him this way. Okay, I need some of these. Here you go. Because I got somebody that's to roll. You've never had to put on them, so you don't. We're only demonstrating, okay? So, if it's live, it's a different thing. Okay. Here. Boom. All right. So I start pushing you, and I'm grabbing the wrist. Flat. Yeah. Okay. Now, I got his wrist here. I pulled it in. If his arm was out here like this, yeah, grab here and I pull it back. Now, once I got that, coming underneath, putting this. So, scissor my legs. Very painful. And again, this is really what's called a guillotine in amateur wrestling. But it's a tapper. Yeah. Right? And in pro wrestling, they'll call it like an abdominal stretch. Like on the feet. You'll see some of the Japanese pro wrestlers. They'll hook a leg and they're like 6'9", you know. And they get the guy here. Okay. That's a peekaboo hole, all right? That's a peekaboo hole. It's not going to happen on the feet unless you just like go, okay, now jump on me and do that, right? Or unless you're just terrible and you can do anything to the guy anyway. But if he's on his hands and knees, you can get into the guillotine because it's used all the time. It's a staple of leg riding in amateur wrestling. See, normally we'll grab like this and pull the guy's arm and back, and then you come to here. But you don't want to do it that way because the guy will rip your arm off in a submission match, right? Now here, if I went like this, okay, I'm in big trouble. So I want to come down here, or I'm going to push his head, and stuff anything to flatten him out without making myself more. Now, the key is when you roll him this way, you want to scissor your legs so he can't escape. Yeah. And then this is like, right, can't get out, right? Now, I get this arm, I pull behind my head. And this arm has to come in. And then you come here, hook grip, at the temple area, not down here. At the temple area, and just a slide. Okay? So the pressure is in the neck and in the abs there. All right? Okay, now, again, when you got a partner, if you're going to give him your body, give him your body. It's very important. Let him do the whole. Okay, hit it. All right, so here we have a reverse like neck crank. It's we'll do this from north-south type position. So I'm here right this way. Okay. Good. Good. So I'm here, I'm covering his face. I move off to the side a little bit, and I got his head. His chin's up. Now, lift up and grab your own hand and pull back. So very dangerous, right? You feel that? You sure? Turn this way a bit. My leg's flat, so okay, so here, move off to the side. Boom. Come up. Grab your own hand. It's like a reverse guillotine. Alright? Like you do on the feet. Careful with the guy's spine on this, because it is vulnerable, right? Feel vulnerable? You're sure? You're not making it up. Alright, hit it. Alright, now stand. Stand. Yeah. Now, this one we're going to go into off, go behind, an arm drag, go behind. So he moves his hand forward to touch me. I'm moving, and I'm dragging. Now, notice he's taller than I am. So coming in for a choke is going to be hard because I've got to reach up so high. Alright? So let's face this way. He comes, I drag him, get his back. Now the way I get his back is by pulling him through, not by running. I make him move. Now, he's there, and I'm going to go here, see? Alright? Across his face. Because of that, I got better leverage with it, being that my height is not as being I'm vertically challenged. Yes. Yeah, that's the politically correct way to say it. I'm vertically challenged. Not short. I never call me short. Okay. Here he comes. Boom. I'm across the face. Hold him to the ground. See? And now, I can lock, the way I've showed you already, and get him right there. Or I could just, pull him like this, with my hands like that. But this is a very good way to go right into it, particularly for police. Alright? Some of you people who get my tapes and things are cops. Alright, let's say, just pretend your hands are on the wall, and stick them up, put them up. Okay, and you're getting lippy or whatever, and I need to come here. Okay. Pull him right to the ground. If he goes to his stomach, as he has, see, and you're here. Right? Just lift up, straight, where you get here. Okay, you can just move. There's so many ways to get that neck and control the head. It's amazing. All right, so now here he comes. Right. If he goes to sitting position, you're here. Right? Just continue to twist now. Flatten out totally. Now sit through. So, there's 3 or 4 variations I've shown you just based on how he falls. If he falls flat to his knees or to his butt, you got different things to do. Any questions on that one?
Do you block his arm when he first reaches? You block that arm?
I let it go your feet. I let it come to you.
You let it come to there. Just that far?
Yeah, watch.
Okay, you don't...
My arm is, not blocking.
Okay. I couldn't see, that's why I didn't know whether you actually blocked that.
No, not blocking. I absorb it.
Right, okay.
I let it come to me. Now I've turned my waist, and now I've got it. So if he's coming to push me or grab me, I've turned, now I've got him here, and here in the hinge. I pull him through, and I get him. All right?
Thank you.
Okay, hit it. All right. This is going to be the last one today. For this day. There are more. There's lots. This one I had done to me when I was in college, University of Iowa. Eddie Bannock did it to me. Just to pin me and humiliate me, basically. And that's back when I was a freshman. I was a redshirt freshman. I didn't know diddly compared to those guys. And they could basically use me as they could use my body as a mop, basically, to clean up the room. All right. But the problem was I stunk so bad at that time, even if they did clean the mat with me, that they'd have to use some kind of vaporizer or something to get the stench out. That's how bad it was. I used to leave practice crying. But then I got tough. Well, sorry. I'm not that good. I'm not good at all. Just ask some of the guys on the internet. They know. All right. But anyway, they're the same guys that don't come by my gym and fight me, and wouldn't come by your gym or anybody else's. But they're tough guys when they can call themselves Rip Roar or something like that. So long as you have a title and make-believe handle, you can be as tough as you want to be. This is the life of Walter. What's his name? Walter?
Me.
Anyway, yeah. Life of Walter Mitty. The fantasy world. Be whoever you want to be, regardless of whether it is real or not. Well, are you ready? This we could consider a peekaboo move. All right? But it can happen. And I want this to be taught to police in general. And I want them to use this on sit-down protesters. The people in San Francisco and Berkeley and Santa Cruz and some of the other liberal havens, where you get people who sit down to protest flag burning. No, actually, they don't protest flag burning. They protest that somebody would be against flag burning. Or they sit down to protest that you are not giving equal rights to panhandlers. They want panhandlers to be able to openly express their needs. And if they are interfering with the business on the street, and the business is trying to make money to survive because the business owner has a wife and family, a house payment, a car payment, and the need for food, screw him. The panhandler has rights. Okay? So don't kick him off the sidewalk. You terrible, terrible, heartless, mean-spirited American. So we're going to sit down and we're going to protest and just try to do anything to us. You're going to have to pick us up off the ground and take us to jail. All right. Well, maybe not. Maybe you'll want to get up after I do this to you. So you're sitting down like you're protesting, right? Right. Not even going to say anything. I'm just going to do it. That's what I want to see done in Berkeley, in Santa Cruz, and San Francisco. Get there again? Let's turn sideways. This is what Eddie Bannock did to me. didn't do it to submit me, it was to humiliate me, because I'm on my back getting pinned. But he did something worse. Here, he pulled me back. He held me like this. And then he goes, "It's Furey's birthday." He started spanking me in front of the whole wrestling room. That is something else to be added. And I would gladly film that police officer doing this and give it to the Channel 9 News or whoever it was with my voiceover saying, "This is the kind of conduct that I find applaudable by police officers." Right? Alright, so here, you don't need to spank the guy when you do this. But we're going to end on this note. Here, get your chest weight on and forward. Grab under the knees, come up, pull back. Let his head slip down to your solar plexus. And then drive forward. How is that? It's fun. Makes you not want to be a protester if I'm a cop, right? Alright. Let's work on that one, and that's it for this tape. Hope you enjoyed it. Visit my website, www.combatwrestling.com, and realize why I'm called the bad boy. Well, realize why I am the bad boy of the internet. I'm just a total asshole. Alright, talk to you later.
To run for office, man.
You like that?